What's up, guys? My running kid here, coming to you again. How's everybody doing out there? Hope everybody is well. And once again, I am back here again with my comic review. As always, first off, I like to give a shout out to Sick Rick Josephs. He's finally now on Skype. So congratulations, SRJ. And I'd like to give a shout out to Sly Cooper 88. This time, my friend Steve. Check out his channel as always. We did a video together Friday, and we talked about the whole Ms. Marvel about to get promoted to being Captain Marvel in July. That was really fun. I did it with PM Night 12, Edward 2962, and my boy Deadpoolzilla. I wanted some more on there, and I wish I could have got Sensei on there. I would have loved to got his thoughts on it, but maybe some other time, right? So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out on my main channel. But this is the comic reviews, right? So let's kick it off, shall we? And we're going to kick it off in, we're going to the independent company known as DYNAMITE. And we're going to kick it off with Bionic Man. Bionic Man number 8. Kevin Smith, Phil Hester. Okay. This was good. This is really good, guys. So Steve has found out now that the higher ups at OSI can completely shut him down if he doesn't obey their orders. Like if he refuses, they'll shut him down. They can just shut him down, and there's nothing he could do about it. So he has no choice but to proceed with the mission at hand and taking down the evil predecessor of himself, the Bionic Man known as Hull, and by any means necessary, taking him down, out of the equation. So he has to deal with that. Action was good. Storytelling is still good. Kevin Smith still does a really good job on reinterpreting this classic character, the Bionic Man, for a new generation. And it was fun. It's really fun. I can't wait to the next issue to see does Steve accomplish his mission. But yeah, Steve Austin's still good, and I'm not talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin, guys. All right, so that was good. Next up, a book that comes straight out of the pages of the Bionic Man, the Bionic Woman. This is written by Paul Tobin. I read a couple of his stuff when he wrote the Spider-Girl, Arena Corazon for Marvel, and I thought he did a very good job on that book. So this is issue number 1, and this book basically explains what happened to Steve's girlfriend, Jamie Sombers, and how she became the Bionic Woman, and things like that, and kind of the differences between Steve and herself. She's not as strong as Steve, but she's still strong. She can even cloak herself like a master of disguise and things like that. She has some attributes that Steve does not have. So we get to see that in this book. She's in Paris right now, and she talks about how, they talk about how she was in an accident, a parachuting accident that caused her. Steve told OSI to do the process that made him the Bionic Man on her and things like that to save her life. And she worked for OSI for a while as an operative, but then she got tired of it, and she's kind of going underground, living now in Paris. But yeah, it was good. It was pretty good. So far, so good. Mr. Tobin does a pretty good job with this. Dynamite looks like they're about to knock another one out the park. Alright, and last but not least, with Dynamite, Lord of the Jungle, number 3. This was action-packed, guys. So, Jane Porter, John Clayton, and their assistant. The ending of the second issue had Jane and their assistant, I can't pronounce her name, at the mercy of a panther. And the panther, all of a sudden, Tarzan jumps in, fights the panther, stabs it, and it's over. So Tarzan, after a while, starts to like take care of the castaways. Like he's bringing them food, he's bringing them shelter, things like that. And all and behold, they're trying to figure out, what happened to the Greystone, Lord and Lady Greystone. What happened to him. Clayton is the uncle, the nephew of Lord and Greystone, Lord Greystone, and he figures out that they died in the hut that they were in, and they figure out that there was a child, and the character known as White Skin, as they call him, which is Tarzan, they pretty much are trying to put two and two together. Like, is he White Skin or is his name Tarzan? And uh, Tarzan's got a thing for Jane. He's watching her, take off her clothes, and he's ooh, ooh, like, oh yeah, this is, which is really funny. Then all of a sudden, Jane gets kidnapped by a gorilla, and there's a battle between Tarzan and the gorilla, and it's kind of cool because they actually subtitle it like they're talking in English. How they usually write in comics. They have that, like if they're speaking in Japanese or a different language. So they're speaking in ape talk, and it goes on to say that Tarzan has been exiled from the gorilla clan, but he says to the ape that Topazi, I think that was the gorilla's name, that he chose to leave the gorilla clan and things like that, but Topazi was exiled because he was ruthless and things like that. And Tarzan basically says, let her go or I'm going to kill you, like you're dead. And he kills him. He takes his knife and stabs him, slices his throat and stabs him through the kidneys and everything. It was like, oh God, but it was good. This one was more action packed, and there's this kissing scene between Jane and Tarzan, and she's all like, no, I can't do this and everything like that, and he just picks her up and like takes her away. But it was fun. This was really fun. It's getting much better for all those who weren't really feeling the first two issues. This one was more action packed, definitely. So that's all of Dynamite. Let's move on to Marvel. Got a lot of Marvel for you guys. I got a lot of books, so I hope you guys stick with me on this one. And oops, drop my stuff. Don't mind me. Grape juice, love it. Avengers Assemble, number 2. Bendis, Bagley, Mark Bagley. Mark Bagley is one of my favorite artists, and anything Bagley does, I love. And I got to say, for a guy who's never drawn Iron Man, he does a pretty good job. He does a very good job. Everybody else, he's pretty much drawn before. So this still continues the reintroducing of the Zodiac, and we get a great fight between Tauros and Iron Man and Thor, and at one point Tauros gets the best of Thor. Like, he even says, I put down Thor, and then Iron Man comes in and Iron Man just gets whopped, and it was like, oh snap. Um, it's basically, this is really just really reintroducing the Zodiac. Now they say once again that this book is content with what's going on now. Like, this team, even though this team is basically the movie team that's coming next month, but it's actually fun. Um, Hulk talks, he talks. He's not like, oh, Hulk this, Hulk that. Um, but he also had a run-in with Aquarius, another one of the Zodiac members. But it's fun. It's really fun. Most indeed. Uh, but I know some people, I think they're overshooting. I will agree with people that I think they're overexposing Avengers, but they got a movie coming out, guys. Marvel does that all the time. They start to overexpose their characters when there's a movie coming out, and with the Avengers now, and who knows, when the Guardians of the Galaxy movie comes out, they're gonna do it with them. Yes, there's a Guardian of the Galaxy movie coming out, people. But it was fun. Avengers Assemble 2 was fun. Moving on to Avenging Spider-Man number 6. This was a combined effort. Greg Roca, Mark Waid. This is the first part of the Omega Effect, which is going to go from this book to Punisher and to Daredevil. Uh, so basically, what this is remember how I've been telling you in previous reviews how Daredevil he has in his possession. Excuse me. He has in his possession a hard drive that pretty much every criminal organization, AIM, Black Spectre, the Hand, uh, Hydra, everybody wants, because it also has something to do with the Fantastic Four. This is where the story continues in there. It's always a blast to see these three characters get together. Um, Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Punisher. Um, it was really funny. So it basically, we see Daredevil talking to Punisher. Punisher comes to his house, and as you know, and is like, Murdoch, you got to give me that hard drive. You're not safe with it, yada yada. And Daredevil was like, he's like, is that whiskey I smell, Frank? What's with all the risky? And who's your partner? He's like, you're trying to block my sense of smell, but I know you have a partner. He's talking about Rachel Coles, the character that's been in his book, who's kind of like now the female Punisher. Like her family, at her wedding, she's a Marine. Her wedding was gunned down. Everybody there was gunned down, even her fiance, her whole family. So she's taking revenge, and so she kind of gets in league with Frank. So it's kind of funny because even Spidey even mentions, he's like, a female Punisher. So what is she, the Punisherette? It was really funny when he said that. I thought it was really funny how Spidey was calling Daredevil Magoo. He was like, you know what, Mr. Magoo? And if you don't get the joke, you know the character Mr. Magoo, who is blind and he's always able to find himself around. That's what he gets. But it was fun. It was really fun to see. But of course, with Spidey and Daredevil, they're like, Frank, if you're gonna work with us, no killing. There's no gonna be no killing. You're doing it my way. Spidey's still living up to that rule. Nobody dies on his watch and everything like that. And he's like, Daredevil's like, give a little grunt. Matt gives it, Frank, excuse me, gives a little grunt like, and Daredevil's like, if you're gonna play by Spidey's rules in this, no killing. But it was fun. Its next story continues in Punisher, and then it ends in Daredevil number 11. But it was fun. It was fun. I've still been enjoying Avenging Spider-Man. I can't wait to see him in the next issue when him and She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, teams up, because they've always had a good relationship, and it's always been fun to see that. Next up, the world's greatest comic magazine, Fantastic Four number 605. Uh, um, Hickman, of course, and Garrett Garnetti, uh, Garnetti, excuse me, is the artist on this. This was kind of a scary book to me, guys, because of what transpires in this book. Without giving too much away, Reed and his dad go into the future, like thousands of years in the future, and they go to 3012 New York, and they get to see that the Fantastic Four is still around, but led by their son Franklin, and he leads the group. However, Ben is still there, and he's still around after 1,000 years or so. He's got like a beard now, a rock beard. It was so funny. I thought that was funny. It's like a rock beard, and so next you know, Reed, they go into further years. They go into 4012. Ben is still around, and he's getting older. He's older. He's almost got Alzheimer's. Like, he's forgetting things, and it's really starting to show, like, oh my God, like, he's gonna live that long. And Reed is even started to suspect that this could happen. He thought about this for a while. He suspected that Ben could probably outlast uh, a lot of them, and that was really scary in a way. And then they go further into the future, and we see Ben again, and I believe they go one more further, 1,000 more years in the future, and they see Ben die. Franklin, says goodbye, Uncle Ben, but that was scary because he just got older and older, and his rock beard just kept getting longer and longer, and he just looked so tired, guys. He just looked really, really just out of it, worn out, like the years of fighting or whatever, however you want to call it, just took a toll on him. Even with his rock hide, it was scary. It really almost brought a tear to my eye to see Ben like that. I was like, oh my God, like he just does not look right. I showed that to my brother, and he was just like, oh my, that's man. He laughed at the beard because we both laughed at it because that was funny. But that was just really scary to me, guys. I really was scared. Like, okay, good thing this is just like a almost like a what if story, or just a solo issue, a one shot. But it really was scary. But it was good. Hickman still knows his stuff with Fantastic Four, and I'm gonna be so sad to see him leave this book come, I think, this fall or so. His run ends soon, but still was good nonetheless. Next up, uh, Journey into Mystery, number 636. This is the conclusion of terrorism myth, where Loki is dealing with Nightmare, the Fear Lord himself. This was kind of weird in a way, because if you haven't read any of the other issues before it, you'll be kind of confused. You're like, okay, there's Damien Hellstrom, and he's trying to kill Loki, and then you got Nightmare, and a lot of other different Fear Lords trying to gain power and things like that. But it all just shows what a trickster. No matter how his appearance is, Loki is still that trickster that we love and respect. You gotta respect him, even though he may be young and he doesn't look the Loki that we all remember. He's a young kid now, but he's still the Loki, and he tricks the hell out of Nightmare in this book, and you gotta give him credit for that. Definitely. Gillian does a good job on this. He knows how to write Loki. He writes Loki very well, and I'm very happy for him that Loki is still around. This book is still around. It's not just focusing on Thor, but give Loki a book, because Loki can hold his own book. But yeah, this was fun. It was fun to me. Excuse me once again. Next up, and speaking of his brother Thor, Mighty Thor, number 12.1. Yes, I know some people are saying, damn, kid, why do you keep getting these 1.1 books? I'm a collector. I just get them. Sometimes the 1.1 stories are good, and sometimes they're not. This is Matt Fraction, of course, and yeah, he's doing okay on Thor. He's not killing it. I can't say that, but I am a little scared for what he's gonna do with Hawkeye. Yes, he's gonna be doing a Hawkeye ongoing soon, and Clint Barton is one of my favorite Avengers, and I have very low expectations for that book. That's just my little take on it. If you want to know more about it, go to my friend Movie Geek for 17. He has a video about it. But other than that, uh, this is just a story of pretty much that focuses more on Thor in the past. They're telling backstories. Sith and Volstagg are telling stories of what makes Thor himself. What makes him such the great warrior that he is, and that he's not all about bravado, and he's just a mighty Thor that just goes in there and crack you over the head with his hammer. What made him the true bearer of Mjolnir, things like that. So you get backstories of Lady Sif and Volstagg talking about adventures they had when they were younger. It was really funny to see Volstagg in shape, like cut up and big and muscular, instead of how he is now. He's robust skin, kind of. I don't want to use fat, but Volstagg is kind of husky. Okay, pleasantly plump. How about that? Okay, so we get to see that basically in this story. That's all this was. It was just a pretty good backstory of what makes Thor who he is, what gave him, his character, all that. That's all this was. Nothing fancy, nothing spectacular, but fair. Let's just put it like that. All right. And the first book of the tie-ins into Avengers versus X-Men, New Avengers number 24. Bendis Deodato, another one of my favorite artists. Uh, this basically shows off how the New Avengers and everybody gets ready to goes off to Utopia and gets ready to do battle. Cap comes into the Avengers mansion and basically explains the situation. Storm, once she hears Phoenix, she's like goddess, and she just leaves the Avengers mansion. Black Panther's like Aurora, and Cap's like, Panther, let her go. Let her. She needs to be where she needs to be. Just let her go. But the main story of this is kind of the relationship in a way between Jessica Jones Cage, Luke Cage's wife, and himself. She left the mansion, and Luke has been going crazy looking for her after the events of the Dark Avengers and Norman Osborn. She left to protect uh, Danielle Cage, their daughter, because in the past story, Osborn has threatened to kill their daughter, so she did what any mother would do: protect her daughter. Um, Luke is going crazy looking for her. He even goes out to the protesters outside the Avengers mansion and tells people, like, look, I'm just looking for my kid, my wife. He's like, I know people, you guys are thinking we're these people in this mansion are here to hurt you, everything like that. We're not here. Am I hurting you? He even points to me. Look at me. Am I gonna hurt you? I'm just doing what pretty much he basically contemplates, like, I'm doing what God gifted me with. I have this super strength. I have this invulnerable skin, unbreakable skin. I'm using my gifts to help you people. So go home, be with your families because I'm looking for mine and things like that. And it, Danny comes out, Iron Fist is like, okay, and that's good. Okay, hi everybody, and then just walks away. It was kind of funny, but it's just basically Jessica starts to feel that maybe Luke feels that he his priorities are more with the Avengers instead of his family, and they go into all kind of that. They didn't expect to get married, they didn't expect to have a kid, things like that. But it really starts to contemplate: is this the end of their relationship? Um, really, because once Cap starts to explain what the Phoenix is, a lot of them are like, Jessica's like, oh, I should have known. Like, and Luke is trying to tell him, like, no matter what, we have these abilities. There always going to be some kind of danger with us. Don't try to sell that we can't have a normal life. We can only, because almost we're not going to have that kind of normal life. We're not like normal people. Um, and it kind of gets that way. But it was really the fact that you had all these people telling Cap, like, Scott is not gonna like us just walking on the island to take hope. Ms. Marvel says it, and then Wolverine even backs her up, like, it's gonna end wrong, Rogers. It's gonna end wrong. And he's like, I'm gonna try to be diplomatic about it, and uh, it doesn't end that way. And then Red Hulk, gives this big speech about, we got to do this. I know we're going to fight. Some of us are going to be fighting friends, people we admire, but it has to be done. He gives this big general speech, almost like General Patton, but Hulk style in a way. But it's okay. The next issue kind of gets into what I want to see: Iron Fist and the Phoenix. How is this the city of Kowloon and the Phoenix, kind of coexist, or what's their relationship? And so, all right, next up, Scarlet Spider number 4. All the power, none of the responsibilities. You got that damn right. Uh, Kane in this is being hunted by the Assassin Guild. The Assassin Guild are the people that Belladonna, if all those who don't know Belladonna was the ex-wife of Gambit. It seems that when Kane was still being Kane, he used to just go around killing people. And he was like a contract killer himself, but he was killing people in the guild's territory. And so they basically said to him, you either give us like percentage of the whatever your employees are giving you, or we're gonna kill you. And Kane is like, you know what? You know what you can do? Fuck you. I'll get out of here. I'm not giving you shit. So when they found out that the Scarlet Spider or so is Kane, they took a hit out on him. And there's more to it than that, but it's really just the Assassin's Guild, super-powered Assassin's Guilds going after Kane, which was really good. And then it was funny how, it was actually interesting how he told the Assassin's Guild to call off your dogs, or I'm going to kill them all. He basically contacted Belladonna and was like, look, I'm going to spoil this for you guys. Spoiler alert. He says to her, look, if you call off your dogs and I don't kill them, I won't kill them. I'll do a job, one last job, and we'll be split even. We'll call it even. And she's like, okay. And that's pretty much how they end their hit on himself and someone else that I'm not going to spoil who that was. But it does also get more into the supporting cast that's been growing in this book too. But I don't want to spoil that either. But it's really been good. This has been really good. Yosh and Stegman have been doing a very good job with Kane. This has been really fun. To me, guys, it does not need Peter Parker in this book at all because he stands on his own in this. And besides, it'd be kind of weird to see Peter come to Houston for no particular reason. You know, got to remember, yeah, he's in Houston, guys. He's in Texas, the Lone Star State. You know, he's not in New York. And I've always found it good to see Marvel heroes outside of New York, even though, yeah, I'm from New York. That's my home, but it's my home. But yeah, sometimes I even say, you know, there's got to be some heroes outside of New York in the Marvel Universe. That's just me. Okay. Without spoiling too much in this book, because I don't want to spoil this too much, Rick Remender's Secret Avengers number 25. This is the conclusion of the story arc that's been going on. The first mission for the new incarnation of the Secret Avengers kind of goes without a hitch, and then kind of goes not so good. I'm sorry, guys. That's all I can. I don't want to spoil this book. I'm sorry. That's all I can explain to you. You just got to read it for yourself if you're reading Secret Avengers. I don't want to spoil it. If you want to know about more of the plot and stuff in this, right? Give me a personal message and I'll tell you. But for now, I can't really spoil this book at all. But I will tell you one thing. Flash Venom makes his debut on the team, and he does a very good job helping the team out in this book. Next up, Ultimate Comics X-Men issue number 10. This is Nick Spencer, and since Ultimatum, and now that the world knows that mutants are not kind of in the Ultimate Universe, mutants are not the next evolutionary stage of Homo sapiens. They were basically created in a lab, kind of. So they're kind of like I don't want to call them abominations, like genetic test subjects and so. And because of what happened in Ultimatum and what Magneto did, many of the mutants have been put into these concentration camps in a way. And one of them is called Camp Angel. And Storm and a lot of the other people that are in there are like, you know what, enough of this. So Storm, she cuts her long white hair again and gets it really short. I'm talking boyish short. Like, I wouldn't say too short like classic Halle Berry, but boyish short almost. I'll show you a picture more or less. It's better if I show it to you guys. How short her hair is. Let's see if I get a good look. Okay, here's a good picture. Um, you could see her right here. You see her? That's how short her hair is now. That's how short she is right there. She takes it upon herself to liberate the camp. Like, she pretty much destroys all the Sentinels there, everything. The Storm goes all out, and she frees a lot of the captive mutants there, and they start to find more secrets about this Camp Angel, that it's not just the concentration camp. They've been doing test subjects further beneath the camp, killing a lot of mutants, prisoning a lot of them, torturing them, including Colossus. And a lot of the Stacy X, the ultimate version of her, decides to take upon herself to kill the soldiers that are there. And Storm goes on and tells, this is not how we should do it. Yeah, we liberated the camp, but she starts to remember, she starts to go on about her teachings that Charles Xavier taught her, and things like that. And she decides to say, let's take a vote. Those who in favor of letting them go, or those who favor or want to kill them, and it comes to a split tie, even, until all of a sudden Colossus comes out and is like, you know what? I haven't put my vote in. And Storm thinking, oh, he's going to follow my way. And he's like, no, Aurora. And he tells the guards and everybody, the warden of the, stand up. And he's like, look, son, I know what we did you was wrong. Yeah. No, you don't know anything. And I'm going to spoil that too for you guys. I'm sorry. I got to spoil that for you. This is what Colossus does to the warden. Check that out. Do you see that? He smashed his eye, crushed his head. That's Colossus doing that. Ultimate Colossus. And that was bad. I'm like, whoa, okay. And it's starting to remind me, guys, of like, okay, so Ultimate Colossus is now becoming a crazed, almost killer. And regular 616 Colossus is a drug addict, drugged up on the Juggernaut powers. And that's one of my favorite X-Men too. And to see what I've made my peace. I've said it before, guys. I hate that he has the Juggernaut powers, because he's becoming a druggie on it. He's addicted to it, and he knows it. He knows it, and he's not doing anything about it, really. Not a damn thing. So moving on. Winter Soldier #4, Ed Brubaker. Good stuff, man. In this book, basically, we get a team up between one of my all-time favorite villain of all time, Victor Von Doom, and Bucky Barnes, teaming up to stop the imposter Doom and get more information on the people Bucky trained when he was the Winter Soldier. He trained other ex-KGB operatives as assassins and stuff. And this is really good. Like I said, Brubaker just does a really good job telling this like a true espionage book. We get to see more of, they're still trying to track down the Red Ghost and Lucicia von Barra, the people like that. And it's just a really good espionage book, people. If you're not reading Winter Soldier and you want to keep up with Bucky, I applaud you to read this. It's been just really fun. Brubaker, he is no slouch when it comes to just Cap and Bucky, period. He's no slouch. He's probably the best to write the characters, period. Right now, as point, period. Right now, he's the best Cap and Bucky writer right now. That's just me. Yeah, good stuff. Last Marvel book, the end of Jason Aaron's run, guys, on Wolverine 304. Mr. Aarons, tip my hat to you, guy. You went out with a bang with Wolverine. This has an all-star cast of artists on this book, so every page is a different artist on this. So basically, now that Sabretooth kind of has full head of the Eastern Hemisphere criminal syndicate and everything, he decides to throw himself a party. And basically, we know this party is something more. So what does he do? He invites everybody Wolverine, all the people Wolverine, that hate Wolverine. So Lady Deathstrike's there, Dawkins there, the new Silver Samurai, Sauron's there, Mystique is there, everybody, and it's in Manipur. It's actually in Manipur, and Wolverine is like, I need to know where that party is, and he goes and he throws down with everybody. And there's more into it as that we start to see other things developing as well. Like there's this group coming together that are ex-girlfriends of Wolverine's, and they join together, I guess, to cause Wolverine some problems. We see the Hellfire Club getting involved in some way. But it's really why Wolverine crashed the party. If everybody is known about Wolverine, okay, for all those people out there that's been reading Wolverine from the get-go, like myself and things like that, if you recall, every year Sabretooth would pay Wolverine like an annual visit and fight him and sometimes beat the hell out of him, just to annoy him or just to for anniversaries, like for example, the day he raped and nearly murdered and killed Silver Fox and people like that. Wolverine he's like, you know what? I'm gonna return the favor, and he comes and he's like, remember all the times you did that stuff to me, Creed? I'm returning the favor. Stabs him in the heart and was like, oh yeah, and happy birthday to your old pal Logan. Turns around to everybody, y'all can go back to your party now. And I thought it was really funny. This issue is called One More Round. And we just see Wolverine in a bar after that, just drinking. The bartender, you want me to set up a tab for you? I would love that. What else you got back there? It ended on a high note in a way for Aaron's. But this isn't the end for Aaron's in terms of Wolverine. Of course, we know he's doing Wolverine XMen, so it's still good that he still be writing Wolverine in a way. But that is a badass cover too. I love that cover is badass. But the new creative team will take over after this issue. But like I said, I tip my hats to Mr. Aarons. You did a very good job on Logan. Very good. Next up, that is it. Now we move into the DC. And I only have 5 DC books for you guys. And let's kick it off, shall we? Like I said, got a lot of books. As always. Batgirl number 8. To die at the hand of Grotesque. Miss Gail Simone. My lady. You still do Babs justice. Yes, indeed. Boy. This issue really got deep into the past. The past comes to haunt Barbara a lot in this. For example, one of the guys that she was into, for example, without spoiling too much, one of the men that this character here actually was employed by was the same guy that was with Joker, worked for the Joker when Joker shot her, excuse me. Explains more into why Barbara's mom left, and we get a more in-depth into what James Jr. was as a kid. He was a serial killer in the making, right from the get-go. And that was something that was like, oh my god, like he killed Barbara's cat without mercy, and and then he blames it on his mother, and she goes into detail about that. But Barbara knows that she may be hiding more than she's telling, but it was actually the past really comes to haunt Barbara in this, and then it's the ending that really was like, what just happened? What the hell is gonna happen next? Without spoiling too much, let's just say somebody who was supposed to be in Arkham ain't in Arkham no more. Gail Simone. I know my mentor Gabi talks to you, and Ed, if you're listening, if you tweet her again, tell her that your student, Christopher Bennett, said thank you for the great stuff. Alright, so we move on to Batwoman number 8. J.H. William III, W. Haken Blacksmith, I believe, is the artist on this. Without spoiling too much as well, things are not going too well for Kate at all. Oh my god, like, things are getting really twisted, and I'm talking seriously twisted, in her relationship with the organization she's working with now. It's getting really, really deep and kind of scary in a way, and that's all I want to say on that book. Without spoiling too much, because it was really good. It was good, guys, but I don't want to spoil too much. I'm sorry if I don't spoil a lot, guys, but this is another book that I don't really want to spoil too much. It was decent, but I really want to see what's to come next for her. Green Lantern number 8, Powerless and on the Run. Jeff Johns, Doug Mahnke. We get more deep secrets into the Indigo Tribe and what the hell they want to do to Sinestro. We see an individual in here that we haven't seen since Blackest Night, Black Hand, and what the hell the Indigo Tribe did to him and what he can do. And let's just say the Indigo Tribe, for a group that is based on compassion, they're pretty hardcore in this book. I'm like, holy shit, like, what the hell? Like, and it's up to Hal kind of to figure out, like, how to get out of here and save Sinestro. But then there's something that just really boggles me, is like, and the answer to that is basically, drumroll please, what does Abin Sur have to do with the Indigo Tribe? That's it. That's it right there. That's the cliffhanger right there. What does Abin Sur have to do with the Indigo Tribe? And that's what I want to know for the next issue. Alright. Next up, Grifter number 8. Brother versus brother to the death. Nathan Edmondson is on this as well. The DYNAMITEs have taken a lot from Cole. His love runs, his girlfriend, they killed his brother right here, and an ally in his fight against the DYNAMITEs. And it's almost broken Cole. Cole is almost a broken man now. He knows he's the most wanted man. Everybody wants him. Not just the DYNAMITEs. Stormwatch wants him. Everybody. And it's a battle on the Eiffel Tower between himself and a DYNAMITE disguised as his brother. And you can really see throughout this book from the start almost to start, then to the end, that Cole nearly is a broken man. He doesn't know if he can go on. It's like almost like, should I give up or not? Or should I continue to fight against these aliens. And it wasn't until, fighting his brother that he figured out, well, the skin of his brother, I should say, that he has to continue. He's got to continue no matter what, even if he is the most wanted man in the DC universe, in the New 52 universe. But it really showed a little bit different side of his character, definitely. I really enjoyed that. But it was good nonetheless. The next issue 9 is the beginning of you know who's run. Will I continue it? Yes, I will. I'm not going to stop collecting Cole because of a writer or creator I'm not really on too much. That's just me. Like I said, I'm a collector, guys. But it's going to be interesting to see that certain guy that I'm not going to name is bringing in Cheshire and Deathblow into the 52 universe. So that's going to be cool. We get to see the 52 version of Cheshire and Deathblow. For all those who don't know who Deathblow is, he's another Wildstorm character. And you should all know who Cheshire is. And once again, another book that has come to a conclusion after 8 issues. Mr. Terrific. Third most smartest man in the DC universe. I'll give Mr. Wallace credit here. He tried to go out with a bang with this one. This issue was very action-packed. The Blackhawks guest star in this book. They feel that Mr. Terrific, his technology, his T-spheres, everything like that, is a danger to the world. And either he turns his technology over to the government and things like that, then he's wanted, like he's actually they see him as a criminal. The people of LA are saying, no, you're wrong. He's a hero, and they kind of, and a reporter is filming all this while the Blackhawks are trying to put Mr. T, Michael into custody, and they're kind of like showing like, okay, if you're gonna do this, then we're gonna film this and show that what you're doing is wrong. But it ends basically, guys, with Michael finding out that somebody has caused corporate sabotage in his company, and that's none other than Karen Starr, aka Power Girl. He doesn't find out what she's up to, but he does the math, he does the science, and he talks, and it's about quantum physics and creating a quantum time travel to different worlds. Because we know that the Power Girl is from Earth 2 that now is in the 52. So he finds out about that. He finds out about it, and he does the math and he does the science and to see what happens. And he takes he kind of says, takes a trip. So his adventures end in his own series, but his adventures does not end because Mr. T will be in the Earth 2 book, which I will be getting, because that's where JSA is, and I'm a big JSA fan, guys, and I'm even a bigger Mr. T fan as well. So that's where he'll be in issue number 2 or 3. That's when he finally reaches Earth 2. But I'll give them credit. This one ended a lot better than Static did, because it went out kind of in a bang, in a way. But I'm still disappointed. They could have did more with Mr. T, but they didn't. And that pisses me off. Once again, another book that I was really looking forward to when I saw them advertise it, and I always said, if there's any JSA member that could hold his own book, I thought it was Mr. T. Oh well. But other than that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been really fun, as always. I hope you guys enjoy. You tell me what you guys collected and read and things like that. What can I tell you for next week? that you will see. I'll give you one issue that I'm looking forward to next week, which I'm going to review next week. The Shadow. Yes. The Shadow. Dynamite brings the Shadow. And that comes out next week. And I cannot wait to see what Warren Ellis does with that classic pulp character that predates Superman. Love it. But other than that, guys, it's Mom and Kid. You guys take care. And peace.